So in this video, we're going to learn how to fetch today's exchange rate for all these different currencies. The challenge for this video is to fetch exchange rate for a different base currency and fetch exchange rate for only few of the currencies. If you want to know how to create table view with multiple sections, then I have totally separate blog post on it. Check out the first link in the description box. Alright, so let's just dive right into it. I'm gonna create new Xcode project, iOS single view application. Next, I'm gonna call it exchange rate. Next, then I'm gonna save this on the desktop. Alright, then I'm gonna go to the main storyboard. Alright, so I'm gonna set the iPhone size to iPhone SE. And I'm gonna select the view controller, delete the view controller because we want a table. So I'm gonna add a table view controller and make that as an initial view controller. I'm gonna select the controller and then editor, embed in navigation controller. Just so I'm gonna post the date over here and select the prototype cells, that is identifier to, let's just say, rates. It's not rats, it's rates. Alright, so go to the view controller, delete the view controller save file, and I'm gonna add a new file, iOS Cocoa Touch class. Next, new subclass of UI table view controller. I'm gonna call it exchange rate table view controller. Next, and just save this in this app. So first thing that you do once you add any new file is you go to the main storyboard, select the view controller and set its custom class to this. Then I'm going to write a ton of code in here and then I'll explain it to you. Alright, so here's what I've done. So first I've created an array called exchange rate. It's a string array. Then I've created an API endpoint. So that endpoint, so this website called fixer.io will give you free exchange rate. And so to make the request, you need HTTPS endpoint, secure HTTP. It will not take regular HTTP because again it's Apple, so everything has to be secure. So I copied that HTTPS endpoint, this link over here, and then so I've created a string called API endpoint. Then I created a URL using this string, and it may create a URL, it may not. So that's why I created a guard syntax. So if this creates an URL, then I've created a task. So basically URL session, I've created a shared URL session and then data task with this URL. Now this returns data, optional URL response and optional error. So first thing I'm going to check if the error is nil. If there is an error, we stop right here, so return. Now the response that we got, is it of type HTTP URL response? And if it is, then I'm going to check if the HTTP response status code is 200. That means everything is perfect, everything is okay. So I'm going to print it out. If there is if status code is something else, that is an indication of some kind of error. So based on status code, you can figure out what was the error. So after that, the data, optional data we received, I'm going to unwrap it. Then I'm going to create a do loop. So this data is of type data. Now you're going to convert this data into JSON and convert that JSON into dictionary. So we do that by in the do loop. I'm going to check if the JSON serialization .json object with data options are empty array, and I'm going to cast this data as a dictionary of string and any object. And if I cannot unwrap this data into JSON dictionary, then I'm going to return because there is some kind of error. And once we unwrap it, then I'm just going to show you how the dictionary looks like. Now, once you see the print statement, you'll see all these things. So for example, the dictionary has another dictionary in it for this key rates, which is string and double. Then dictionary has string for base key, and dictionary has date string for date key. So I unwrap all three of them. Now finally, when you get these rates, this dictionary is going to be completely in a random format. So that's why I got the keys from this rates dictionary is of type string and double, and I got all the keys. I sorted them alphabetically. So now this is an array of string which is sorted alphabetically. Now I create a for loop, and I'm going through each one of them in order from first to end. Then I safely unwrap the rate from this rates dictionary for this key, and then I'm simply going to append this exchange rate, this string array that we created. I'm going to append one base currency. So one base currency is equal to this rate and this currency. Now all this URL session and all this internet activity happens in the background queue. So once I have done with the for loop, once I have received all the information, then I'm going to go to operation queue.main and add operation, and I'm going to update the navigation controller's title to update it on this specific date, and I'm going to reload the table data. And in this do loop, if there is some kind of error, then I'm going to say print out some error. And the most important thing is task.resume. If you don't write task.resume, then this entire code will never execute. Then of course, number of section is 1, number of rows in section is the exchange rate.count. Then I uncomment this help forward index path, the identifier is the rates, and the cell text label text is equal to exchange rate at indexpath.row. Now let me just run this app in the iPhone 5s. And so as you can see, I got the so updated on 24th of March 2017, and this is the exchange rate that I got, and this is the thing that I was talking to you about. So once I casted this data of type data into JSON dictionary string any object. Now this is a dictionary. So in this dictionary, for base there is a EUR string. So base currency is EUR. Then the date in this dictionary, the date is this, and for the rates key, the value is string and double. So this is a European website, that is why the base currency is euro. So what if you want your own home country currency or any currency that is available in here, and you want any of these as your base currency? So that's your challenge, and I want you to try this on your own. If you want the hint is on fixer.io. You can see the hint. So try this on your own, and now here is my solution. So basically you write here question mark base equal to USD, and now everything will be in USD. So if I run this app in the iPhone 5s, and so base currency is everything in USD, now it's giving us all that information. Maybe you just want couple of one or two exchange rate. For that, you need to add multiple conditions. For you write and the second condition is symbols equal to AUD and maybe INR. And now let me run this app in the iPhone 5s. And so now it returned only exchange rate for AUD and INR, and the base currency is USD. So if you want to download this Xcode project file, then just fill out the form below and you'll receive the file in your inbox. And if you want to know how to create table view with multiple sections, then I have totally separate blog post on it. Check out the first link in the description box. So that's it for this video. Like this video, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one.